Hello, and welcome to Cry Havoc Wargaming, dedicated to bringing you the uncommon. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Ron, and today I'm going to do a looking back, looking forward, end of the year review of where Cry Havoc Wargaming, this channel, stands. So let's get started. Before we get started, I'd like to do a shout out for a friend of mine and for his company, and that is my friend Chris Bennett at Phalanx Consortium. Phalanx Consortium is a local company to me here in Williamsburg, and Chris, besides being a good friend, is also a member of the club that I participate in, Williamsburg Legatai. And his company does a number of things. They act as a distributor for a number of other games, Radio Dish Dash games, Firelock games, Knuckle Duster games, Crooked Dice. These are all things that he carries and sells through his store. He's also now an importer into the United States, or distributor for deep cut mats. But beyond just distributing other people's products, he's also works behind the scenes with a number of these companies to create some of their lines. He's responsible for the new World War I figures for Blood and Valor, for instance. And the company's been reaching out and doing more and more of their own things as well. They do a number of different scatter terrains. They do, of course, bases and various measuring devices. Very good products, excellent gentleman, great man to do business with. Very, very good company right here in Virginia. Thought I would do a long overdue shout out to my friend Chris Bennett. Now, he is not a sponsor of this page. I'm not doing this for any financial gain. Well, it's always been a goal from the time I first created this channel to draw attention to those businesses that produce the items that we use in the game, or the games themselves that I like to play. I like to bring attention to those companies that support us, that I enjoy doing business with. And I have neglected a close personal friend by not having done that. So I'm going to take this time first to mention Phalanx Consortium. I'm going to include their webpage address down here on the corner so you can see that if you want to take a look. A very good man, good to do business with, whether you deal with him online or as I do through the club or through any of the various shows and conventions that he attends. This being a very busy time of the year with the Christmas season and the holidays, and that demanding on all of our time, both at work and outside of work in my normal full-time job, I have fallen a little bit behind my normal shooting schedule, and as is often the custom with many of these channels and with this time of the year, I thought it was a suitable time to do a reflection of what the year has been and where we sit now and what we're looking at for doing in the future. So where have we been? This channel originally got its start in no small part because of COVID. I've had a blog page that I was very bad at keeping up. In fact, even today, when it's little more than an advertising form for this channel, I'm still not very good at keeping it up. But I had that channel. I've been involved in gaming in a number of different places. I support those games that I really enjoy through a number of local shows. It was brought to my attention through one of my favorite wargaming channels, actually, through Travis's Tabletop CP, that there were no videos on how to play one of my favorite Western skirmish games, which is Gunfighter's Ball by Knuckle Duster Miniatures. And at the time I had no experience with working with videos or any of that, but I thought I might be in a position where I could address that. At least I knew the game very well, and it was one of my favorite games. And it is a motto of mine, long has been, to promote and help support those games and those game companies that I believe heavily in, particularly independent companies. So I took that opportunity to learn how to make a video. So inspired by that and by my favorite YouTube channels that are out there, about a year and a half ago now, I took the opportunity to learn how to invest in the money I needed to get the studio together and started producing videos, originally with how to play Gunfighter's Ball video. On my channel now, we have just over 330 subscribers by the time of this posting. That's still pretty humble, pretty small, but I'm pleased with the growth. I'm definitely pleased with the support that I've got from many of you who follow the channel. I think my videos have improved. I hope to continue to improve them. One of the goals that I was taught by Mr. Cannell with his Video Rating Academy, the organization that taught me how to use this equipment and do channels, and basically is to always try to make each video a little better. And I'm not sure I've always succeeded in that, but I've certainly done my best to continue to improve and make the videos better and improve upon what I've done in the past. And I think there's been some success on that. So I'm pretty proud of where we are right now and where we stand. I'm unfortunately limited because of my real job and because of coming out of COVID. Just as that was, as we were coming out of lockdown, I was thinking about producing more videos a week. And then my work started to pick back up, my day job. And I really am not in a position right now where I can do much more than one video a week. It's a surprising amount of time in the behind the scenes and in the editing aspects to take one of these videos and make it into a final product. Far longer than I certainly thought before I started all of this. Maybe one day in the future I can increase my content load, move to a production of maybe 2 a week, but right now I'm pretty much limited by time and availability to the one I'm at. But that's where we are right now. So that brings us to the future and what I'm looking at for the channel in the next coming months. We have already begun a new campaign, the Pulp Alley Perilous Islands campaign. We will continue along showing the different adventures for that. I've got this ongoing project I've been doing for anti-narco fighting, where I haven't exactly decided on the rule system for sure yet. I have played around with Sanguine, with Black Ops, and with Spectre Operations, and so we'll see where that's going to take us in the future. I'm doing a lot of work right now on 3 Killer Bee games. One of those is Geezers, which is 1970s British detectives. I also have their Vice Palm supplement, which is to make that a 1980s more American game, though it still uses a lot of very British terms. There was supposed to be a variation called Mean Streets that was supposed to be 1970s American detectives, and I'm actually working on writing my own version of that since it's never come out, because that's really what I'm more interested in, rather than the 1980s games, is rather the 70s American. But I am a big fan also of things like the Sweeney. So I'm working on both of those things at the same time. And in that process, it's also introduced me to a new game by Killer Bee Games, which is Blitzkringle, which I'm hoping to present here on this channel next year. That is a Christmas game with Santa Claus fighting against Krampus and their various supporters. So those are things I'm working on for the long-term future. I'm working on some French and Indian War figures, which I hope to eventually present here, possibly as a long rifle campaign using the 2-hour war games rules. I'm not convinced yet whether I'm going to use just the campaign aspect of those rules and use the Song of Drums and Tomahawks for the actual fighting, or if I'll use the rules as written. That's yet to be determined, but those are 2 things that I'm considering for that scenario. I'm waiting for a Kickstarter from Moonstone, but that's mostly just new characters and new options to the game, though there is a new campaign set of roles that's coming with that Kickstarter. I'm expecting that any week now. Beyond that, I would like to see a return to some of the games we've done in the past that I haven't given enough attention to. I'd like to go back and play some more Congo here on the page. I definitely would like to return to both Nevermind the Billhooks and Baron's War. I participated in the Kickstarter for Baron's War, the Death and Taxes, and I am thinking about running that campaign here online as well. There's a series of 5 or so linked adventures for an outlaw campaign set in that period, and I think that would be very suitable and might be enjoyable to do here. And years ago, I was putting together a linked campaign, sort of in the Too Fat Lardies style of a pint-sized campaign for Benedict Arnold's invasion of Virginia. That's something that took place in the area where I'm at right now, came right through this area, right up the James River. And eventually would lead to the burning of Richmond. I realized as I was doing this video, I was doing a series of comparison videos for various buildings in different periods, and I think I only did the Wild West one. I had intended to do some city buildings and brownstone buildings, sort of arrangement, urban buildings, and I never got around to doing that one. And maybe some World War II buildings, but that's more up in the air. But I would like to continue to do that. There's a few comparison videos I would like to do. I did a Pulp Alley and 7 TV Pulp one some time ago, but I think there's room for a few more of those, comparing a couple of role systems, for instance, Sharp Practice to Muskets and Tomahawks and things along that line. Of course, lastly, we're always looking at ideas from you. YouTube channel exists for the subscribers, for the viewers, and there isn't much point in me just making content that I'm interested in if nobody else is interested in it. So if you have ideas for content you'd like to see, or games that I've tried in the past that you'd like to see me return and do more on, and possibly ideas for other games I haven't covered at all, please let us know that in the comment section down below. So the hope is that we can build this channel together, both myself as the creator and you as the subscribers, that we can find something that we're all enjoying and pleased with in the end. One of the fun things that I've had about this channel that I hadn't expected is I created it with the idea that I would be bringing games to you, that I would be sharing my favorite games with you and some of my favorite suppliers or producers of game things with you. But I've had a few times where you have shared them with me. Some of the games I've presented here are games I've only learned about because of subscribers like you. So that's been a lot of fun. Again, as I mentioned, if you have comments or ideas of things you'd like to see, further content you'd like to see us present here, if there's games that we've done that you'd like to see us return to, please go ahead and put those in the comments down below. Also, if you've enjoyed the video at all, if you look forward to receiving more videos from Cry Havoc Wargaming, I hope you'll hit like and subscribe, and please hit our notification bell. Until next time, cheers, and have a very good new year.